have a 10-5 lead over the Springfield Cardinals. Parker hits a drive into deep right center field, and Bolivar tracks it down. Nice defensive play by Papo Bolivar in right field.
It was a little nice redemption, Ned, after that last fly ball that he kind of backtracked on and took his time. He had to work hard to get to that ball, and he made a nice catch.
Now the batter is Mike McCoy. We're seeing the Cardinals shock troops, I guess is the best way to refer to it here in the late going. McCoy facing the Springfield Cardinals. Shane Wallace warming up in the Springfield bullpen deep. On the mound is, for Springfield at the moment, is Josh Axelson. So manager Chris Maloney now using his share of individuals. I'm going to stand corrected on that. That is not Josh Axelson either, but rather Randy Leak.
Randy Leak trying to fill some innings here. After that one pitcher didn't get through the inning, he's going to have to suck it up here and do a few innings for the team. And they're going to go back-to-back lefties too, Ned. And usually you like to go lefty-righty to give the hitters a different look, but with one pitcher only making it through maybe a third of an inning, it kind of changes all the plans.
One out here in the top of the sixth inning for the St. Louis Cardinals. It's a 10-5 lead for the Eastern Missouri Major Leaguers. 6-3, and there are two down now here in the top of the sixth inning as Mike McCoy grounds out short to first. And that will bring to the plate Yadier Molina. Domino's delivery of the game. Domino's, the official pizza of the Springfield Cardinals. Hey, get the door, will you? It's Domino's. There's the Domino's delivery of the game, and that is a blast, a home run, the first home run of the year, and set by Jim Edmonds. Now here is a drive into deep left center field. Talk about home runs. That one has been deposited out of here by Yadier Molina, and that is another Domino's delivery. A home run for Yadier Molina.
Man, I think if the Springfield Cardinal pitchers are learning anything today, it's if you get the ball up and they get the good wood on it, it's getting out of here, because the wind has actually died down from the beginning of the game. It's still blowing out a little bit, but those balls are getting out in a hurry.
They are rocketing out of here, and the fact that it's a warm day has an awful lot to do with that. We talked about that yesterday. The cooler weather tends to dampen the ball just a bit, but not today. That ball is flying. This is Hector Luna batting for the Cardinals. There's a drive, but Papo Bolivar appears to have that one in sights and does, and hauls it in, and the side is retired. But another run for the St. Louis Cardinals, and Yadier Molina cranks one out of there. It is 11-5. The Springfield Cardinals trail St. Louis.
You've been shopping for cars everywhere, but you can't find a dealer who seems to care. We're the one you've been looking for. Stock Dodge gives you more. More selection, more for your money, more for your trade. You got it made. Oh, give me more. Give me more. Well, we're the one you've been looking for. Stock Dodge gives you more.
His mom was trying to talk him into renting the more traditional look. He, of course, was leaning the other way. After all, it was his prom, and it was Melinda. So instead of a bow tie, it was a Euro tie, and a vest instead of a cummerbund. As for Mom, we can only say this. It's not what he's wearing that you should be worried about.
Tuxedo rentals for as little as $50.
You're going to like the way you look. I guarantee it.
Some guys say you shouldn't eat anything bigger than your head. But then they haven't been to Denny's Beer Barrel Pub over by Penn State. They've got a 4-pound sourdough burger there made with 100% Angus beef. Heck, even the biggest chowhounds can't put one of these babies down. But then, they'll never stop trying. The Hardee's 1/3 pound Frisco thick burger on grilled sourdough with Angus beef and bacon. It's about as close to the 4-pounder at Denny's Beer Barrel as you'll ever get.
Let's go!
Smooth ride.
Tons of room.
345 horses.
It's an all-star.
And it just hauls.
V8 power, 0% financing.
You gotta love those numbers.
Bonus cash.
5-star front crash test rating.
Hurry in now and join over 1 million proud new owners during the Dodge Spring Sales Event to get the most award-winning lineup in our history. Now, qualified returning Daimler Chrysler lessees can lease a Durango SLT with a heavy V8 for just $249 a month.
Big interior.
Big savings.
Thank you very much for joining us here on UPN 15. Ned Reynolds along with Scott Bales, and we hope you're enjoying the ball game. Let's get back to it with the Springfield Cardinals batting against the St. Louis Cardinals. And Andy Schitzenhopper, the kid from Swansea, Illinois, is on the at the plate, I should say, for the Springfield Cardinals. Now, here we are back in the booth. Hey, Lefty, good to have you with us, big guy.
Hanging in there.
And good to have you along, too, for the ride. We'll be on our next telecast on KY3, and that will be Tuesday night a week. And that is when the Springfield Cardinals open up their home season hosting the Tulsa Drillers. The score is 11-5. The St. Louis Cardinals have the lead over Springfield. We are in the last of the 6th inning, and Mark Mulder is still on the hill for St. Louis. Mulder will open up the Cardinals season at home on Friday against the Philadelphia Phillies. Today he has allowed 5 hits and 5 runs to the Springfield team. And the Springfield fans want a rally. The rhythmic applause has begun. High fly is going to drift off foul. Chased by Hector Luna, but the ball goes into the seats.
I'm going to guess today that Mulder has a pitch count and Dave Duncan has a pitch count, and he's just going to go until he gets to that magic number. And we don't know if that's 80, 100, 120 maybe.
Has Mulder impressed you today, Scott?
Well, Ned, I just know his thinking right here, and it's just get my number of pitches in. I think earlier he probably kicked himself because he gave up that stolen base, but he's done a great job. He's a pro.
It's time now to head down to the stands, and in this case, the dugout, where Tom Mast is brought to you by your Mid-American Lincoln Mercury dealers. And Tom, you're down there with the skipper.
Yeah, I'm sitting here with the skipper, Tony La Russa, kind of eyeing up the last couple of innings here. Tony, overall, how have these 2 days in Springfield been for you?
Oh, they've been outstanding. The reception, the enthusiasm of the crowd. And yesterday was a great game, real close. Today, wind blowing out. It's like a summer wind. This has been a nice, tough day for pitchers, good day for hitters.
Your last day before you go into the season, is that a critical day for you overall?
Uh-oh.
Is it gone? It is. Yeah. There's the first Springfield Cardinals home run.
Okay, is that something you expected to see?
Well, first time I've seen DeMarco, he really gets a bat hit out here. He almost won the game for the club yesterday with his line drive to center. It's been a really good work day, and got most of our regulars out of the game without injury, so I'm happy.
One guy that really was shining early is Reed Gurecki. I mean, his performance today, is that something that you'll remember well into the season, what he's capable of doing for you?
Well, a couple of guys, I was talking with Edmonds about it. He was really impressive in our camp. The way he went about his drills when he played very well. So he's definitely got a nice big league future. And I think folks in Springfield are going to enjoy watching him play because he's got a complete game. He catches the ball, he plays defense, he's got good legs.
Tony, one last thing. Everybody wants to know, overall, coming off a championship season, going into a season, do you feel like everything's in place and ready to start the run again?
Well, I feel last year we thought we had a good club and it turned out really well. I think we had a real good chance this year, but you still got to play, and we're anxious to start.
Tony, thanks a lot. Good luck.
All right, thanks for the reception here in Springfield.
You bet. Ned, there's the skip. He says everything looks fine, and I think they've enjoyed this weekend in Springfield.
Tom Mast and Tony La Russa in the Cardinals dugout, brought to you by your Mid-America Lincoln Mercury dealers. We saw Matt DeMarco stick one over the right field fence, the first Springfield Cardinals home run. And watch out, the bat goes flying into the stands off the hands of Dan Moylan. Gosh, I hope nobody got hit by that one. Apparently not. They're going to return the bat, of course, to Dan Moylan. Whoa, that's a dangerous time, Scott Bales.
Yes, it is. When you sit in those first 2 rows, you have to watch the whole time, Ned. That bat slips out, and instead of keeping your hands up, a lot of people duck their head, and I think she got dunked in the head.
The Springfield Cardinals are looking over at the individual in the stands, and yes, apparently somebody did get hit, and we'll have a stoppage of play. And we did have somebody get conked by the bat that flew off the hands of Dan Moylan. And now concern is shown by the Springfield Cardinals. That's Moylan, the Moylan right there, who in fact is looking into the crowd. Tonight here on UPN 15, actually coming up after the ball game, Heroes of World War II. That'll all be on at 4 o'clock following today's telecast of the Springfield Cardinals and the St. Louis Cardinals. And we have a cessation to play here at Hammons Field as the Springfield Cardinals and the other officials look over the situation. Coming up at 5 o'clock tonight is CSI, followed by, how about this, Scott Bales, the Ultimate Poker Challenge.
I need some lessons.
And then Walker will be on at 7 o'clock tonight. That's all coming up here on UPN 15. Medical attention still being given to the fan and the box seats just to the left of the Springfield Cardinals dugout. Apparently it was clipped by the bat off the hands of Dan Moylan. Now we're back to the action again with Mark Mulder on the hill. It's an 11-6 ball game. The St. Louis Cardinals have the lead over the Springfield Cardinals. This pop foul by Estrada heads back into the seats. No, I beg your pardon. What is the call here, Scott Bales?
I believe we're going to get a little catcher's interference call, Ned.
It hit it. It hit the catcher's glove, I guess is what that is.
Yeah, Molina a little too aggressive getting if we do get a look at it here, Ned, the catcher just gets a little aggressive, reaches out instead of letting the ball come to him.
There it is.
And there's contact with the glove, and batter take your base.
That is catcher's interference called on the St. Louis Cardinals, and Kevin Estrada is on first base. The bat cannot touch the catcher's glove, and it did in this case. So there's Kevin Estrada on first. We have 2 outs here in the last of the 6th inning, and this is Sean Boyd batting for Springfield. Let's watch the slow-mo here, and there you see as the bat comes around. Yeah, it did. It flicked against the catcher's man. I think that's Einar Diaz who's in there now for St. Louis.
Diaz is at first now, Ned. I'm not sure who's doing the catch. It's Molina still back there.
Yes, he is. You're right. That's Yadier Molina back there. 6-4 is the force out at second base, and we have completed 6 innings at Hammons Field in Springfield. It's an 11-6 lead for the St. Louis Cardinals.
The all-new 330 horsepower Hemi-powered Jeep Grand Cherokee. With more power and more torque than anything in its class, it can even turn a quarter-mile of pavement into a Jeep trail. The off-road legend continues on-road.
True fans often go to great lengths to show their support for the team. Fortunately, you don't have to go to great lengths to get a Springfield Cardinals checking account. You just have to go to Great Southern. Sign up now during the inaugural season and get this all-weather sports radio with your new account, as if you needed an extra incentive. Sport your Cards card wherever you go. Get more for your money at Great Southern.
You know it's important that you listen to your kids? I'm attorney Aaron Sachs. If an accident is cutting into your family time, give me a call. My number is 1-888-777-AUTO. Our experience gets results.
Stronger, faster, quieter. But that's what you'd expect from a Jeep from Heritage Chrysler Jeep in Ozark. Grand Cherokee 2005. Capability, comfort. Liberty 2005. Spirited, stylish. Wrangler 2005. Rock solid, fun-loving. When the smoke settles, it's a Jeep you're looking for at Heritage Chrysler Jeep, Southwest Missouri's fastest growing Jeep dealer in Ozark.
Springfield Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Youngblood Kia, Vanderbilt College, Chrysler Dealers, Heritage Chrysler Jeep, Dodge Dealers, and Ford Dealers. Delighted to have you with us on UPN 15 for today's Springfield Cardinals, St. Louis Cardinals game, and we do have a new pitcher in the ball game. This is a Vanderbilt College called the bullpen because it is your time now, and Shane Wallace is into the ball game for the Springfield Cardinals. Shane Wallace in relief of Randy Leak. And his first opponent, boy, the Cardinals have really juggled their lineup now. They have everybody and their cousin in there and all playing different positions.
Nunez, little utility infielder, Ned.
Abraham Nunez, he is up and he's replaced David Eckstein at shortstop here in the top of the 7th inning.
Shane Wallace is not your standard little left-handed pitcher. He's 6'2", but 225. He's a big kid.
That is a big kid. Shane Wallace on the hill for the Springfield Cardinals. Shane out of Carrollton, Texas.
Yes.
Was selected to pitch last year in the Florida State All-Star game, and in 54 appearances, ranked first in the FSL and tied for 6th among all Cardinals minor leaguers.
Tom, do you got an update on the injury with the bat?
Hey, Scott, I'll tell you what, I came over to check on the young lady, and she just walked up the step with the help of the EMTs and had a cold compress on her head. She was smiling, got a nice round of applause. She also had a souvenir bat, but thinks she's going to be all right. Just a pretty good headache out of this one. Happy to report.
That's So Taguchi with a shot down into the left field corner, and Taguchi will come up with his second double of the afternoon. So Taguchi with that double. Boy, Taguchi's had a big afternoon. Larry Walker had homered in the 4th inning, and then Taguchi coming up with back-to-back doubles.
Brad Creasy.
Isringhouse.
So to bat now for the St. Louis Cardinals, and have to go through now and see just exactly who we have in here. There are so many other individuals. This is Brad Cressy. Brad Cressy, who is batting now for St. Louis.
Ned, we got the version of the Cardinal Terminator out there, Jason Isringhausen, getting loose. It'll be nice to let him pitch an inning. They like to get an inning of work in their final tune-up, then take a couple days off and be ready for a save in Houston on Tuesday.
Count to Cressy is 2-0. Cressy batting in the place of Albert Pujols in the Cardinals lineup. This is the top of the 7th inning, and the St. Louis Cardinals have an 11-6 lead. Shane Wallace on the hill. That bouncer is foul. Well, unlike yesterday when the ball didn't leave the ballpark, it certainly has today. The St. Louis Cardinals have flexed their muscle just a little bit, starting with Jim Edmonds' home run. And Scott Rowland blasted one. A couple of home runs, one for Larry Walker, one for Albert Pujols. Fans love that. One for Yadier Molina. And a home run for Matt DeMarco of the Springfield Cardinals. Nothing like a warm summer day to make a pitcher sweat, Scott Bales.
That's why they all have gray hair when they turn 40, man. It was nice to see DeMarco get that hit. He's kind of had a rough weekend defensively with his glove out there, but, you know, you get a home run, you forget about a lot of things.
He's a good player, too. That shot is to deep left center field, and Reed Gorecki made a great try for it. Came up short. Here comes one run in, and we have back-to-back doubles by Taguchi, and this time by Brad Cressy. Nice try by Reed Gorecki out in center field. And the St. Louis Cardinals have a 12-6 lead on the Springfield Cardinals.
Ned, he doesn't catch this ball, but look at the ground he covers. Look at that. He's got 40 yards, and he makes an effort on this ball. I mean, that would have been an ESPN highlight right there. But a great effort. I can see why he's a prospect that will play in St. Louis soon.
This is Roger Cedeno batting here for the St. Louis Cardinals. Cedeno replacing Scott Rowland. Shane Wallace pitching for the Springfield Cardinals. Just the Stats is brought to you by Hardee's, home of the award-winning 100% Angus beef thick burger. Just the Stats from Hardee's, and you see the 15 hits there for the St. Louis Cardinals, only 6 for the Springfield Cardinals, but Springfield has made the most of the limited number of hits off Mark Mulder. As Scott Bales pointed out a second ago, we will see probably Jason Isringhausen. That's going to be charged as a wild pitch to Shane Wallace on the hill for Springfield.
That one thing you're noticing about the lineup, major league teams always seem to have a lot of players, utility players, extra catchers. In minor league teams, they don't have the money. They carry less players. These kids, they learn to play every inning of every game. If you're an everyday player, you play every night, and it's 9 innings. There's no taking a Sunday off or a day after a doubleheader off. You got to play every day. It's a grind on these guys, and if they can get through a whole season, they kind of prove that they can do it at the major league level.
The two catchers on the Springfield Cardinals team are Dan Moylan and the individual who has done much of the catching today. In this case, well, Dan Moylan has done much of the catching today for the Springfield Cardinals. Now we're going to have a timeout while Chris Maloney and the pitching coach, Blaze Ilsley, go out to do the discussions with their pitcher, Shane Wallace. The other catcher who played yesterday is Gabe Johnson, and Johnson is the individual who is more than likely going to see the more starts for the Springfield Cardinals. He is a guy who's been in the upper levels of minor league baseball and probably is on the verge of cracking through into the big time.
Batting for St. Louis, number 4, Einar.
This would be Einar Diaz, who is up there now for St. Louis. Diaz was the starting catcher for the St. Louis Cardinals yesterday.
Blaze Isley will be talking about throwing strikes with his young staff, Ned. Their tendency all day is ball 1, ball 2, and whether it's major leagues or double-A players, you can't pitch that way. You got to be able to pitch ahead in the count to be successful.
Runners at the corners for St. Louis. Diaz backs away from high inside fastball, and the count goes 2-0. Shane Wallace throwing quite a few pitches for Springfield. 12-6 is the score. The St. Louis Cardinals have doubled the score on their double-A ball club. Here's a nice pitch, letter high on the inside corner. Strike 1, 2-1. Wallace, a big left-hander.
That should be 2.
And they turn it. Even with the hesitation by Matt DeMarco, the Springfield Cardinals still come up with the double play. It's 12-6 as we go to the 7th inning stretch. And the 7th inning stretch is brought to you by your Jeep dealers. Test drive a new Jeep today and see your local Jeep dealer.
Bass Pro Shops. It's more than a store. It's the place where outdoor adventures begin. It's exploring new territory. It's setting goals and achieving them. And it's stocking up with great deals, like Sticko soft plastic baits, 3 packs for $10. Save half off this Bass Pro Shops Eliminator PFD, now $19.88. And save $50 on the Rick Clunn Bait Cast Combo, now only $129.88. Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here.
Hi, Roger here from Race Brothers. We always have something to talk about, like all the new riders from Cub Cadet. At Race Brothers, we can help you decide what Cub Cadet models will be right for you. Whether you need a zero-turning rider or a lawn or garden tractor, we have what you need to get the job done. And we have easy financing terms as well. Come on out to Race Brothers and take a ride on your new Cub Cadet. 2310 West Kearney in Springfield and our store in Carthage. You'll like the way we do business. Tell a friend.
Race Brothers Farm and Home Supply.
And Western Wear.
Smooth ride.
Tons of room.
345 horses.
Does it haul stuff?
And it just hauls.
V8 power, 0% financing.
You gotta love those numbers.
Bonus cash.
5-star front crash test rating.
Hurry in now and join over 1 million proud new owners during the Dodge Spring Sales event to get the most award-winning lineup in our history. Now, qualified returning Daimler Chrysler lessees can lease a Durango SLT with a Hemi V8 for just $249 a month.
Big interior.
Big savings.
It is Cardinals baseball on UPN 15, and time now for the Vanderbilt College call to the bullpen because it is your time now. Recognize him, of course. That's number 44, Jason Isringhausen on the hill for the St. Louis Cardinals facing Reed Gurecki. Scott Bales.
Ned, he's the star of closers in the National League right now. 47 last year, 30 several times before. He's the guy. He's got to carry that whole bullpen, Ned.
And there you see in the Springfield Cardinals bullpen, Nick Stocks, who was a Cardinals draft choice back in 1999, was with the Memphis Redbirds last year out of Florida State University. He's going to be making an appearance in the ballgame before too much longer. This is Reed Gurecki at bat for Springfield. He is 1 for 3 in the afternoon, had that double in the third inning with a run scored, and made a valiant effort out in center field just a short time ago on a diving try. Did not come up with a shot, but made a great stab at it.
Don't know how many fans are watching the radar in the bottom of their UPN 15 screen. That pitch was 99 miles an hour, Ned, and that's how you get 47 saves. You don't do that by being a crafty left-hander.
A soft throwing left-hander, as Ricky Horton referred to.
That's what he calls
himself and you.
But Isringhausen, he's been successful. I saw him when he first came up in Oakland. He came over from the Mets, and he threw so hard, guys came back and said they couldn't hit him. The only chance back then, he walked a lot of people, but he's kind of gotten that control under control, and now he's the best in the business.
You see the radar gun speed right there, as Scott Bales pointed out, right underneath second base on the graphic in the upper left-hand part of your corner. 3-2, the count is full to Reed Gurecki. 95 is what Isringhausen is firing at the moment.
When they started showing radar recordings in stadiums, which almost all major league stadiums put it on the scoreboard now, I knew it was time to go, Ned. It was embarrassing.
What was a good fastball for Scott Bales?
You know, I was always around the mid-80s, Ned, 85 to 87. But then my last couple years in Texas, first time in my life I'd ever lifted weights, I actually got up to about 89, 90, a couple 91s.
Really?
Out of the old guy, yeah. But it wasn't like that 98 3-2 fastball that Isringhausen just threw right there for his first strikeout.
Does that have a debilitating, I hesitate to say debilitating, but does it have a wear and tear effect on your arm after a while when you're throwing hard constantly?
I don't think so, Ned. I think the guys like Nolan Ryan and Roger Clemens and Isringhausen, guys that can throw 95 to 100, they're kind of freaks of nature. And a lot of them do it for 10, 15, 20 years. So, it seems like the little guys with bad mechanics have a lot more arm problems than the big guys like Randy Johnson and Clemens and those guys. Those guys they throw hard their whole life. They probably have done it since they were 5 years old, and they still do it when they're 40.
There is, and I think it's fair to say, with the good pitchers, a rhythm, a technique that you get into, and a smooth flow of things that does, I guess, allow you to throw hard and yet relieve stress on the arm.
Sure.
And the shoulder.
It's just a natural throwing motion for them. 99% of pitchers in the big leagues, no one has really changed their mechanics. It's just how they've always thrown the ball. It feels comfortable, and there's the second strikeout. And that's not really fair, throwing 97, then throwing an 85-mile-an-hour changeup. It's not fair. Here it is, 85 after throwing 97. That's the split finger. It's not just a straight change. That's the split finger. So it comes out. Your arm motion is the same speed. There's nothing the hitter can tell. You just have to hope it's in the strike zone. And the way the bottom drops out of that is usually not.
I'm sure that Reed Gurecki and Travis Hansen have gone back into the dugout and saying, thank goodness we don't have to see this guy as a steady diet. Let's see what Papo Bolivar is capable of doing. Bolivar has a hit today, a single in the third inning. and has twice been the recipient of bases on errors by the Cardinals.
Papo did what a smart veteran hitter would do. Swing at the first pitch and hope it's your fastball.
Yeah. Is that, in all fairness, when a guy is throwing smoke out there and you're swinging, make connections, is a lot of it luck?
Well, a lot of it is luck, and you have to just guess. When you throw 95 to 100 and you have that devastating split finger fastball, you have to guess. I mean, you cannot see, and you don't have time to react and see the difference between the two, because if it's going to be 100, you better make up your mind and start moving quickly. And then if it is a split finger, you have no chance.
So far, the Springfield batters have been guessing wrong, too. It is 2-2 on Papo Bolivar. A couple of strikeouts here for Isringhausen, but, let's face it, he strikes out the major league guys, too.
Sure. At the tune of about 2 an inning average, Ned, in the major leagues.
Good eye by Bolivar, and it's a full count. 3-2 from Jason Isringhausen in relief here in the 7th inning. And as Scott Bales accurately points out, Isringhausen getting a little bit of work now before the season opener coming up on Tuesday night in Houston. Also action in the Springfield Cardinals bullpen. We'll attempt to identify the individual. I think it is Nick Stocks. Full count, 3-2 on Papo Bolivar. First name is Cesar. Been around in Tennessee last year. Has made it up and down to the AAA and AA, and really feels like he's about to have a breakthrough year. Ball is drifting foul and down toward the Springfield Cardinals bullpen. 12-6, St. Louis has the lead with 2 outs here in the top of the last of the 7th inning. First 2 batters this inning, Gurecki and Hansen, have gone down on strikes. Jason Isringhausen. Too high and gives a walk to Papo Bolivar.
Good at bat against a great reliever, Ned. He got behind 0-1 right off the bat, trying to guess a fastball on the first pitch. And he battled his way. That's a nice at bat for Papo Bolivar.
Bo Robinson coming to bat. The Springfield Cardinals, signed him as a free agent. He's been the designated hitter today. Signed him as a free agent in November of last year. And Bo Robinson has a double to his credit. It came in the 2nd inning, his first at bat. And now he'll get a chance to look at Isringhausen. Jason working a little bit deep on these hitters. Struck out the first 2 guys, Gurecki and Hansen. Walks Papo Bolivar, and now Bo Robinson batting. 12-6, St. Louis comfortably ahead of this final exhibition game of the 2005 season. St. Louis Cardinals open up the campaign at Minute Maid Park in Houston on Tuesday night. Ooh, a big swing and a miss by Bo Robinson.
Ned, Isringhausen, just like Pujols, did play in Springfield in the 4th of July American Legion tournament. 1989, I believe, MVP of the tournament.
Was he for one of the St. Louis or Western Illinois teams?
I think he's St. Louis. He's St. Louis.
Uh-oh. That's a high drive into deep left center field. Does it have enough to go? No, not quite. It is hauled in at the wall, and the Springfield Cardinals are retired in the 7th inning. We've completed 7 full from Hammons Field. It's a 12-6 lead for the St. Louis Cardinals.
The final days of Ford's Big Picture SUV event are here. Our biggest SUV event of the year has just been extended to April 4th. Right now, get a no-charge Canon digital camera with a purchase or lease of any Ford SUV. Plus, during the Big Picture SUV event, get 0% financing or up to $4,000 cash back on Ford SUVs. No matter where the road takes you, get the big picture. But hurry, these great offers absolutely end April 4th. Get to your Midwest Ford dealer today. Ford, built for the road ahead.
If you've been injured at work, the future can be frightening. Call someone who can help before you sign anything. Call the law offices of Morrison & Webster at 890-4600 or at 1-800-560-0822. I'm Darren Morrison. I've been representing injured Southwest Missourians for over a decade. I will do what it takes to make sure that you're treated fairly. Call me before you sign away your workers' compensation rights. Call Morrison & Webster now for a free consultation at 890-4600 or 800-560-0822.
If you think high gas prices are a bad April Fool's joke, Youngblood Chrysler has a great solution. It's the PT Cruiser, loaded with personality and priced at just $11,990 after rebates. The joke's on anyone who forgets that Youngblood Chrysler, Southwest Missouri's minivan king, has the best deals on Chrysler Town & Country minivans. Anyone can say they make people happy. Doing it is the hard part.
Think young, drive young, buy Youngblood.
Youngblood Chrysler makes people happy every day.
What a place!
The Daily Buzz plugs you into the latest news and weather. I'm Andrea Jackson. Pin on your giant new Kids on the Block buttons. Jordan Knight will be performing live on Monday's Daily Buzz.
Weekdays at 7 on UPN 15.
Springfield Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Dodge Dealers, Hardee's, Chrysler Dealers, Jeep Dealers, St. John's, and by Lincoln Mercury Dealers. Welcome back to Cardinals baseball on UPN 15. Ed Reynolds along with Scott Bales high atop Hammonds Field. The St. Louis Cardinals lead the Springfield Cardinals 12-6, and there is the new pitcher for the Springfield Cardinals named Nick Stocks. He is a right-hander from the Memphis Redbirds last year and a product of Florida State University. It is a Vatterott call to the bullpen for Nick Stocks and the Springfield Cardinals because it's your time now. Vatterott College happy to be a part of Cardinals baseball on UPN 15 and KY3. This is Tyler Parker batting for the St. Louis Cardinals. And the count quickly goes to 2-0 on Parker. He is taken over at second base for Ruzalami.
He's got a lot of minor league versus minor league matchups the rest of the way here, Ned.
Big swing and a miss. 2-1 is the count to Tyler Parker. Nick Stocks on the hill for the Springfield Cardinals in a 12-6 ball game.
The Cardinals acquired Nick Stock as a compensation draft pick for from the Atlanta Braves for when they lost Brian Jordan.
That'd been quite a while ago. Tough play and a good catch. Nice catch made by the Springfield Cardinals, hauled in by the first baseman with his back to home plate. Andy Schitzenhofer with an excellent play to retire Tyler Parker. One down in the eighth inning.
Mike McCoy.
He was billed as a good glove first baseman. Not a lot of power, just good average gap power, both from left to right field, and he just flashed the good leather like advertised.
This is Mike McCoy batting for the first time this afternoon. He's batting in the place taken by Reggie Sanders, or occupied by Reggie. Breaking pitch, and it catches the corner, strike one to Mike McCoy. Top of the eighth inning, and a 12-6 lead for the St. Louis Cardinals, who open up the season Tuesday night. Actually, the Major League season opens tonight. Ooh. Mike McCoy gets plunked. So Nick Stocks let one get away, and Mike McCoy backed away from it and gets hit by it.
This is the last thing you want to do in a Major League exhibition game is plunk one of the guys. Yeah. And the good thing is the guy you do plunk is 91 and not Albert Pujols. Because that could probably end a career as quick as anything.
We are into the large numbers now, indicating that some of these guys may not be around for too much longer. This guy's not one of them. This is Yadier Molina, the catcher. He has a home run and a single to his credit today. Runner on first, one out here in the top of the eighth inning for St. Louis. Molina facing the offerings of Nick Stocks. He is the fifth. Stocks is the fifth Springfield pitcher of the afternoon. 15 hits the St. Louis Cardinals have. 1-2 is the count to Yadier Molina. He got the start today and is obviously going to catch the entire game. Brian Bartow, the sports information director for the St. Louis Cardinals, told us the team, unlike what we had previously been told, will not be going back to St. Louis from here, but rather straight to Houston. Open up the season on Tuesday night at Minute Maid Park, and the season does open, as we mentioned earlier, tonight with the Yankees and the Red Sox at Yankee Stadium in New York. That's weather permitting, because it had been raining in the New York area.
Sure. That's a tough road trip for the Major League Cardinals. You leave directly from spring training. You go to Oklahoma City for 2. You come to Springfield, Missouri for 2. And then you end up going straight to Houston for a day off and then a series. So they're probably ready to get home and get into the friendly confines of Busch Stadium.
Yeah, when that weekend series on a Friday with the Philadelphia Phillies opens up, they'll be more than happy to have that. That's a base hit for Yadier Molina. And Hector Luna steps in for St. Louis. Luna with a couple of walks today and a run scored. He was part of that big 4th inning. In fact, he walked twice in that 4th inning when the Cardinals scored 5 times. A drive into deep left, but is it fair? No, I don't think so. It's all the way over the berm. Boy, he really laced that one. Hector Luna tied into a pitch from Nick Stocks and bombed it over the left field berm, but it is a foul ball.
Man, I wish we had a camera on the other side of that berm. I bet there were some kids rolling down the hill. Because we saw him leave from here at a full sprint, and that hill drops off pretty fast.
0-1 to Luna. Ooh, he backed away from an inside fastball, and the count's even 1-1. Don't think Hector was particularly happy about being brushed back.
No, they look at it as, okay, he let one slip and hit a guy, no big deal. But then you start trying to come in and bust him and knock him off the plate. They don't appreciate that too much.
Floater, change up on the inside corner. It's 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Hector Luna. Well, this is very interesting because the crowd here at Hammons Field is in fact larger than the crowd here yesterday when there were 10,409. Today it is 10,500